Good morning. I'm Jason Scott, pastor of Covenant Baptist Church in Lucedale, Mississippi. This morning we're again looking at our Baptist Catechism. There is a second question that is a variant in the 1813 version of the Catechism that was adopted by the Charleston Baptist Association. And that question is, ought everyone believe there is a God? Ought everyone believe there is a God? Should everybody believe that there is a God? We know that there's a lot of people who just don't want to believe that there is a God, but should they believe that there is a God? The answer, obviously, is everyone ought to believe there is a God, and it is a great sin and folly who do not. So, where do we find some scriptures to back this up? Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6 says this: But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So even in the scripture, we're encouraged to believe that there is a God. Without faith, it's impossible to believe him. Faith is not a belief without evidence. Faith has evidence, and as we've already looked at, there are plenty of evidences all around us for the existence of God. So we have to have faith to believe that God is there. Faith is that word that helps us understand that. It's impossible to please God, for if we come to God, we have to believe that he exists. He does exist. Everything around us shows that he exists. So we should believe that he exists. And there's one more verse to back this up. Psalm 14:1 is probably one that you've read before. It says this: The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works, there is none that does good. And what we understand here is even in David's day, 3,000 years ago, that there were people who were being foolish and saying God doesn't exist. But we know that God does exist. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And unfortunately, our world is filled with many foolish people who do not believe that God exists. So this question 2 in the 1813 Baptist Catechism, says this: Ought everyone believe there is a God? The answer? Everyone ought to believe that there is a God, and it is their great sin and folly who do not.